until we have this from PennDOT, and it's been a complaint for the last years and years. So finally, Jason and I said, well, let's bring it up tonight. And see where
You
we
should
go.
be out there sometime and see the 18-wheelers coming around there. It's a lot of fun. If you need to
Because if
do
you don't
anything, you
go-
ought to put a weight limit on that, by the way.
If you don't go down there, then you go on out and down, you gotta go out there by Sheets's and,
All right.
yeah, I'm saying that's the way I get down, but for people to, won't make the turn,
That was
it's
put in
it's a
as a,
dangerous,
that was put in as an access road, basically, in case there was accidents or something. It wasn't meant to be a through right away. But I agree with you with the curb issue. I think the curb needs to be reduced. But they travel along there fast enough, quite frankly.
Thanks, Tom, appreciate it.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. All in favor of applying to PennDOT so we can do something out there, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to,
I got a couple other, I have lots. On the Public Works report, I know it's in your packet, I wanna highlight some. The signs that were supposed to replace by what year, Tom?
2014.
This year or 14? Like the stop signs and all them. Now, the Congress, and the Senate and the House in Harrisburg approved it. And I think the next week they disapproved it because they called so much hell from the boroughs and the townships because of the date that we had to be in compliance. So they did away with the date we have to be in compliance. Now we do it as we have to replace the sign. So we don't need to lay out all that money. It's just when we replace the sign that we have to. And also, on other signs, we always end up with a lot of signs missing, whether it be one way or Crampton Street or whatever. And in a conversation I had with President Whitney, the university had agreed last year that they would pay half the signs, half the price of what the sign was, and she assured me that they would continue to do that pay half of what the sign is to replace because of the complaints with the university, and it can, she agreed for this year and continues to go with paying half the price to replace it, whether being stolen or found. And the meters are being repaired and repainted. Then the cleanup day is May 12th, the borough cleanup day. And with the grant that we got for the leaf truck, we have to do 2 pickups during the summer or spring. It's gonna be in April, and we don't have, it will probably be towards the end of April, Jason, by that time, hopefully. And it's really just for leaves, that is all for leaves. Hopefully by that time, the weather will still be nice and you get your leaves there at the pound. And instead of doing it like we've been following, we did it on a Monday and Thursday, we're going to do it 2 Mondays. This way, instead of the dad and the mom and hoping the kids are home, that they can get their leaves out there to the road and we can pick them up for them. So, rather than the 2 days in the same week.
This is regarding the cleanup day, May 12th.
Pardon?
The cleanup day, May 12th, that you have.
May 12th, yeah.
That's not including,
That's commencement day.
that's commencement day.
Can't be that. Normally, it's a week
It's
after.
usually a week after.
It's a
May
week.
12th, I'm looking, commencement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we remember we have two that day.
We were told
We don't want
commencement was the
to-
5th.
So it has to be the week after that, right?
We started really late.
Okay, yeah, we still
We'll
have
have to check,
a
because we got the
question
dates
now.
from the
You know,
university.
Yeah, we got the date.
You'll adjust events to the following Saturday,
Well, I'll have next
Right.
week.
the 19th. Are you going to include businesses or not?
I thought,
Well, it's only been done once as long as I've been involved, but I just want to ask so I can pass it around. If not, no problem. But
It was to be every 2 years, businesses were.
And last year we did it, so I wasn't sure.
We include, you want to include business in that this year? I have no problem with it.
Like the pressure's all on me.
Well, Carol, was that, I don't recall every 2 years, I
It
know.
wasn't 2 years, somebody, I.
I thought we stopped it all
No,
together.
I thought that
I
you
thought
We
we
stopped it all together, but it's being abused.
Oh, what do you? Well, if that's the case, then I won't even ask, so just go ahead and put it for community.
Well, we still, we'll bring it up at our next meeting.
Okay.
We still have time.
But the 19th is definitely the day we're changing it.
Yeah, so.
So I get my stuff ready.
And we're going to street sweepers out doing, their work. Coming up,
That's why we did the 10-year contract, we had to know what days they were.
the cleanup day, we're gonna have to double check on cleanup day,
Yeah.
because those, when that was bid out, it was bid at a 3-year project. We got those dates from the university to make sure when it was. I don't know what the glitch is now, but we're gonna have to make sure that the company that provided the bid can still do it on that following Saturday. So Bob can call them and make sure, but we're gonna have to definitely touch base with them at this point, because if that date is incorrect, so we'll bring that.
Okay, thank you, Earl. Moving on to the public safety report. Carol?
We need to accept the resignation of Christina Myers as the meter enforcement officer, and she has not been working since February 24th.
I have a second on that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Okay.
I also would like to request permission to advertise for a meter enforcement officer at $9 per hour, an average between 16 and 24 hours a week.
I have a second on that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Are you able to pull from the applications that were put in over the last year to notify them, or is it just advertised and
They need to
It's a
resubmit.
they need to resubmit?
Yes,
Okay.
we hold them for 6 months.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then that we-
But we might hold these because it's possible we will need another one at the end of summer.
Okay.
So you want to, do you want, you won't be ready to hire before our next council meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
Is there,
You can do
and
that.
can I amend my motion, parliamentarian? To include the advertise and hire, because we do need someone as soon as possible.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot that.
Okay, I got any discussion on the amendment to the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Housing and zoning, Jamie.
Just direct the council's attention to the blue sheet in the packet. Item number 1 was the signs, buildings, demolition permits that happened last month. Item number 2 is the zoning hearing board had their meeting. They've also scheduled their meetings for the 3rd Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. There's a few changes in there on May and June. Item number 3 is the Housing and Zoning Committee. Brenda and I met along with the folks from the planning commission with Bob, and met with, Susan Smith to talk about the rewrite of the zoning, ordinances. And, that day she also met with representatives from the university to get their feedback. She met with the members of our committees to get our feedback on changes, for the current zoning. Also, President Walters was there as well, sorry, dude. There's also going to be 2 more scheduled meetings, that we still have to determine. I believe one is with the downtown business folks, and the other meeting is with the rental property owners
Now, we're gonna do that by questionnaire.
by questionnaire. Okay, thank you.
There's just too many of them to try to get together.
Sure, absolutely. And basically, once we meet with those people, get their input, Susan is going to draft what she termed the skeletal frame of the ordinances to move forward with, get some comments, feedback, and then we'll determine some committees to review and add some details and expand upon. And that meeting has not been determined yet, but about a month's time. So hopefully mid-April, we will meet with Susan again to discuss her proposals. Let's see, anything else? Number 4, the planning commission met with us. Number 5, the UCC appeals board met and had their reorganizational meeting on February 22nd, appointed their board and set their meetings as well. Item number 6 was the complaints, few garbage, few property maintenance, few recycling, and the only one that's pending is a landlord complaint. And that is my report.
Thank you. Moving on to the recreation report, Carol.
You were handed tonight, resolution 2012-337. I'm assuming this is for the closeout of the grant. Todd,
Yes, this resolution is required by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources to close out the grant that paid for the Clarion Region Comprehensive Recreation Plan, trail feasibility study, and the pool feasibility study. This is basically the final piece of paperwork that has to be submitted to achieve that closeout.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2012-337.
Do I have a second on that? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next is permission to order the handicap lifts for the pool. There'll be 2 lifts. And we need some lead time to receive them, so I'm asking permission to order these lifts.
Yeah, I'll second it. Discussion.
The cost,
I have the details for you.
Okay, good.
The, just to piggyback off what Carol's mentioned, the, what's been identified through myself, Tom, talking to several other resources, to get the pool open for this year. We're going to need a ADA compliant swimming pool lift and also an ADA easy stair, basically a set of steps for access to the pool. The cost for the lift would be $4,589.67. The cost for the ADA Easy Stair is $3,785.62, bringing a grand total of $8,375.29. And right now, we are looking at or considering purchasing those through Barbara's Chemicals out of Sharpsville, PA. That is also the same folks that supply the pool with chemicals for the season. And it was also the best price on all of those items as well.
And when are they looking at being able to have that? If we can have the lift?
The big reason to order it now is there's a, Tom, 3 to 4 week lead time, I believe. Sound right?
I didn't speak to them on the actual time to get it here, but they will have to have it installed too. You have to have, qualified individuals install them
Right.
according to ADA standards.
And that's my understanding. I spoke with Mark from Mark Chemicals. He said 3 to 4 weeks. So if we are able to place the order now, payment will not be due until actual delivery, so another month.
And then what about installation?
We'll talk to them. We'll also consult with Tom and find out those requirements. At this point, I don't have those answers.
So line item for that?
This is going to be paid out of the recreation money.
Any other further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Before I get on to that, last month I made my spectacular announcement, which was too early. So now I'm going to turn it over to Jamie, and he can make his great announcement.
It's not my announcement, it's our announcement together as a borough. I submitted a letter to the Clarion Rotary Club to consider the borough pool as one of their service projects. I'll just read parts of the letter I received back from Rotarians from Jim Crooks. After considerable discussion with the board, it was determined to recommend to the club the approval of the proposal with the following conditions. The club will donate $5,000 to the project as a matching contribution. The match may come from the borough or the community as a whole. The club will also donate 100 hours of voluntary work to exclude any handling of toxic materials or work out of the range of our ability. They list details some areas where they could volunteer their services. And they will also have Rotarian Joe Burns will be coordinating the project for the Rotary. So a huge thank you to all the Rotarians out there. Appreciate the commitment to the local area and to Clarion Borough Pool.
And it's my understanding when they do their fundraiser this weekend, that anybody that wants to call in can call in and say this is great about the pool. And we're hopefully getting other clubs in the area to match these funds.
They will be accepting matching dollars during the Rotary auction. So you'll be able to call in a matching any amount that you would like to, and this $5,000 piece of the pie will be applied to those funds. And also, Carol, if you don't mind, we're also planning, I believe we're having another ad hoc recreation committee meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Borough Council HQ, is that right?
Yes.
Out at the building.
Yes.
So we'll be meeting with those folks to talk about, item number 1 will be about finding a vehicle to capture funds raised for the Safe Pool Project, part of the Rotarian funds, to find, either set up our own charitable situation, not as a borough, but as a community organization, as a charitable organization.
Has anyone approached, see with the Clarion Conservancy, that since his
Sure.
deceased, I guess.
Right.
Has anyone approached the newest organization that, their focus is on, the tourism and all of that, I don't know, with Mary Zeller and, I don't know if
They
they're
don't,
fine.
they haven't got anything like that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were filing for 501c3 or,
We will have, we've invited Jack Therese, who has volunteered to help us through. And then Jamie is bringing in Kim and Fred Cherica.
oh, good, okay.
So if there would be a, let's
Board of
say,
directors.
yeah, Clarion Rec Foundation, let's call
Something
it.
like that,
Yeah, there'd be a separate entity to put that money through, so you could, individuals, organizations could have that tax,
Exempt.
write off, right?
Right on.
And we're also, Andrea, we're also looking to maybe partner with another existing organization so that they could be essentially the account to hold those funds for us and possibly save us all the trouble of going through setting up something on our end.
Sure.
And that's part of what that meeting will address tomorrow.
Okay.
But the pool is going to be open.
I told my kids it was.
Okay. So am I.
Sure better.
I got a motion, I got a second. All in favor of permission to order the handicap lift, say aye.
We already did
Oh,
it, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm going to
We just want to
request.
reiterate that you're doing
Here, you don't want Brenda to get in the case. Permission for the solicitor to review and make changes to the ordinance, 2009-760. That's the one we've been discussing about the money for Polly Weaver Park. We're just going to, the solicitor's going to do it the easiest way.
Yeah, from what I understand, we can just amend the existing ordinance.
Well, and I know that, if I'm speaking on behalf of Paul, who is no longer with us, it was never his intention for the pool to be slighted by any
No.
means, and he had even mentioned if it needed to be changed, he would do whatever
Yes.
to make certain that happens.
Yeah, he told Mr. Zerfos to, at their last luncheon, that's what he wanted. His words are, he does not want children learning to swim in the river.
Okay, I got a motion, do I got a second on that? Second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of permission to change ordinance 2009-760, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We'll get that done, and we'll advertise and do it. Secretary's report, not here. Mayor's report on police and community activity. Oh, do you have anything else, Carol?
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I have another.
Just so I'm clear on that, you will receive the proposed amendment at the next meeting, correct?
Okay,
Okay. And then you'll vote to accept what's
Yes.
drawn up. Okay.
Yes.
thank you.
And we'll advertise it and then you.
Yes, I just want to make sure I understood what you was looking for.
Okay, mayor's report.
I'd like to thank the Clarion Area Elementary School for inviting me to come down and read last week for Reading Across America. It was a great time. I went down 4 times and went from kindergarten to 3rd grade. And they sat through me reading stories to them, so it was a lot of fun. We've got up a new report that actually Chief Hall will be reporting on, but he is out sick this evening. And it's regarding police community activity, and it's to be taken in a positive way. It's not to be, how many arrests we've had or that kind of thing. We're trying to show what's being done in a positive manner from the borough office involved in the police department. And I had the privilege of going to the elementary school and being part of the Officer Phil program. And it's a gentleman who travels across the country, and he uses puppets as a way to talk about, safety, stranger danger, computer safety, that kind of thing. And actually, at one part during the event, he scared the children, but in turn, he scared me to the point that I jumped out of my seat practically, and afterwards I went up to tell him what a job he did, and he said, "I'm really, really sorry that I scared you." But the kids really enjoyed it, and so I think it's gonna be something that Chief Hall will work on getting in place in the future, but it requires contributions from businesses and community members and things of that nature. And it was fabulous. So I'm hoping that we can start that maybe earlier in the summer, because by the time they got out to advertising, this was right during autumn leave. And I know that everybody's tapped at that point, but it was a great program, and those were the 2 things I had to report on.
Thank you. Okay, any old business that we need to address? Hearing none, any new business we need to address? Okay, the next on the agenda is we need an executive session for personnel issue. We will adjourn and do this, and we'll be back as soon as we get through that.
A motion to adjourn.
Okay, they ain't over yet.